Hey. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of The Dream Show, a podcast where we talk about this game that we love and love to hate. Let's introduce ourselves as your host. My name is nothingxs. I am joined by...
Hello, my Wise Dream team. Hello, thank you for having me here for the
How's it
first
going?
show.
Hey, and we have a lot of
doing
stuff.
great.
We have a lot of stuff for you to talk about today, so let's get to it. So, how are you doing, Weiss, today? How's everything?
I'm doing good, thank you very much. How are you doing, and how is everyone doing as well in the comments?
I mean, I'm not looking at the comments. There's no comments, no audience participation until we're done because we have so much to talk about. And you know that they're going to be talking about stupid things like maybe Salinas will be in the Dreamfest. What's up with that? We all know that that is impossible, and the reason it's impossible is because I really don't want to pay up $50 to a guy on Facebook. So let's begin.
Let us begin.
Yeah, what do we have on the docket here? So we have a list of topics. The topics are totally irrelevant, just like the game we play. And the first topic is the return of Captain Aoi Dream Team. I don't know if you've noticed, but they apparently, instead of getting like a 4th or 18th 97 banner because they would simply run out of Japanese players, they decided that they will throw at us the Dream Transfer finally for the 97 players and also for the 2018 players. How do you feel about that?
I feel that it is a huge mistake because we already had what? How many times we had the 2018 banner? 3 times, and we had a lot of chances to get all the players again, especially Captain Aoi. We don't need more Captain Aois in the game. We already have enough of it. So I'm thinking that it's kind of a bad idea because it's kind of having the new 97 and the 2018 ones. So people are gonna try to go with this one or that one, and it's gonna be a little bit of a mess with people.
All right, but have you considered, and I know this is going to sound crazy to you, but have you considered the possibility that K-Lab likes to print money?
Oh yeah, definitely. This is not the first time that we have such banner come in and just makes our banks cry and cry and cry.
Because, I mean, what you said makes a lot of sense from the viewpoint of a company that isn't just trying to do backflips and money. But you forgot the part where it's very easy for them to just sell you again on basically, hey, did you get Aoi? Well, here he is. Did you miss out on the blue Kazuo that you are really going to need if you want to score goals on a blue team with the Twins? Here he is. How about that green Jito? You may notice that I'm only referring to characters that I don't have after Aoi because that's how life is. But basically, that's what they're saying. They're saying, check out all these cool things you did not get. If you want them, then you will have to give us a non-trivial amount of your hard-earned money. And we all know that that's basically how K-Lab operates. Like, K-Lab operates by making sure that you give them all of your money at all times.
Yeah, sadly, this is it. And the thing is, what I'm noticing that they have the Tsubasa in the logo of the banner, and that gives me the idea that Tsubasa is gonna be a hidden ability, which I think he will be. Also, that means that there's no featured players as we saw in the logo, so you might have like only 1 or 2 featured, and the rest is gonna be really low, which I believe Aoi will be low as well. So the a lot of characters that we need are gonna be low in percentage, which means that we're gonna have to keep on swipe and swipe till the end of time.
I mean, we kind of expected that though, right? Like, we expected that at some point they were going to bring them back because they're not like the 2017 players where they're just kind of, like forgotten forever. Like, if you wanted the 2017 players and you didn't get them when they were released, basically just kick rocks.
True, and we've seen that with the new event, which we can get the 2017 players that are actually good, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, the 2017 old players, I mean, a couple of them are fine, right? Like, if you need them for stuff, then they will definitely serve a purpose. But a lot of people are just going to be like, they're not going to know what to do with them if they don't already need them for certain stuff. So, you know, it is what it is. But so if you guys don't know what we're talking about, let me show you guys here real quick the actual picture. Now, if only it was easy to get pictures off of Twitter, but it's
True,
not.
right?
It's really difficult. Like, they just are like, if there's multiple pictures in a thing, it's like actually getting them off of Twitter is crazy difficult. So 1 second as I just go whack, done. There you go. Check that out. Straight off of Twitter for you. So that is the banner we're talking about. We have here. Ooh. It is the new banner that's coming, and in case you guys didn't know. And obviously there's also another one coming for the 97 players, which it doesn't apparently show any new players. It's just
It
the
does
97 ones. Yeah, so if you didn't get any of the 97 ones, you can get them. So
Exactly, and it's gonna be like a three
it's a 3
steps
plus
and
1.
one free, 3+1, yeah. Which I think it might be a 5% banner.
Yes,
If it's
they are
five-
always
if it's
5% banners.
Actually, they're not always. Is it a dream transfer or not?
Yes, it says it right there. Dream transfer.
Okay.
So all 3+1 banners are also 5% banners. So it is what it is there. Yeah.
So that means that we're gonna have all the 20 and then the 97. We're gonna have all be the same percentage of getting them. Actually, this is actually not a bad idea of having them together if you want to pull, because we're gonna have each player coming with a level 5. That means we're gonna have a new character or an old character with a 5 SSR balls already in it, and that's actually a kind of a okay investment in my area, to be honest.
Yeah.
The thing is, you're not sure what you're gonna get, so it's gonna be like a yes or no situation.
I mean, hold on. I'm trying to put here. For those of you who don't know, this is it's me, nothingxs, and the other host is WeissDT. I know a lot of people might not know. So, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
It is what it is. I think that being able to get the older players is fine. I'm not extraordinarily concerned, especially now considering what the new players are. I think it's okay for players to be able to go back into older parts of the meta and pull out stuff that they don't have. In some cases, it might be a little rough because some of that stuff might be like, you know, good old stupid what's his face Aoi. But you know, what can we do at this point? If you don't have Aoi, you probably should have him. He's kind of important. Meh. It is what it is.
And I think other than Aoi, you have Kazuo, which is very important if you're running a full blue team. Aoi is very important to have it.
Yeah, it
of
is
course,
pretty important, especially if you're trying to not blow your super solidarity on him.
Exactly. Now, this is my problem now in my team. I have 2 super solidarities, and my problem is Kazuo, because he's a green player.
Yeah, and so if you don't have the 3 super solidarities, or he's not the one you want to spend it on, then you're kind of like between a rock and a hard place, where it's like, oh, well, there is no blue Kazuo, so what is even the point? But yeah, you know,
Exactly.
that is
time will tell.
What happened?
Only time will tell. Only time will tell. We have like I think it's gonna come in Monday. I think.
Yeah,
this banner.
It's more than likely coming on Monday, or at the very least, we'll see an announcement for it pretty soon. Anyways, so that's the return of Captain Aoi Dream Team. Hopefully, people pull things other than Aoi, because screw that character. Broken.
I hope he's not there. I really hope he's not there.
He's gonna be in it. He's gonna be somehow the person with the highest pickup, so that everyone can have him. And you're just gonna see like 50,000 non-stop Rogashatas again per match. So get ready for that. Fun times, fun time. Anyways,
my Wakashimazu is ready for that.
No, but you know, it would be nice if they see that we're talking about it, and that they don't actually include Aoi, because as we've already become well aware, KLab watches what we say and do at all times. And if you think that is not the case, then I have here something for you that might convince you otherwise. And it's
I'm I'm already convinced that they hear us because our dear YouTuber friend Bay never ever gets the predictions right. So I'm guessing they actually hear him and they do the opposite straight away.
Well, that is a good way of putting it, but how about this right here? What if I showed you this picture and I showed you this Diaz and I told you that they're definitely watching us because this character exists? And in case you don't know what I'm talking about, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, when I was still a young streamer and had a lot of opinions other than God, I hate playing this game sometimes, I had a idea for when they initially announced the hidden abilities and said, why haven't they done the old crappy red cogs? Why haven't they done the blue Diaz? And my idea for the blue Diaz was make him kind of dribble oriented and make it so that every time he won a matchup by dribbling or something, his dribbling would get stronger. Basically, I designed the foundation for matchup win bonus. And in general, one of the other things I said was that he should have free dribbles if he dribbles more than once per encounter. And that in some way also turned into stamina cost down. So the general idea of make this character like this wound up informing the existence of this Diaz in some way. And a lot of people remembered that stream and went, hey, wait a second, I know what this looks like. And within moments of this Diaz's hidden abilities and stuff being announced, they hit me up like, hey, isn't this, I mean, you know, and they're like, didn't know what to say because they're like, this looks eerily familiar. I feel like we've seen this movie before. And they didn't know how to quite put it. I got a lot of comments that day about, wait a minute. And so, how much, besides just this Diaz, obviously they try to figure out ways for us to be able to play players in like teams that they don't belong in, and we see that with Super Solidarity being a new team skill, right? They realized that we were all splashing a couple of characters because they were very important, and now they allow us to actually splash those characters semi-legitimately. So how much attention do you actually think K-Lab is paying? Considering that they say, oh, we read the Reddit, we do this, we do that.
I think they actually are more invaded in our community than we actually know. Because if you see the K-Lab from like a year ago or a year and a half ago, they weren't as generous as they are now. And a lot of feedback that we did give out, either by YouTube videos, either by Reddit, it's actually being implemented slowly and in another way. For example, they don't want to just copy the idea straight away. They have to modify it a little bit to maintain the idea of, oh yeah, we came up with it. So and your suggestion for Diaz is one of the main proofs that they actually hear us. The other is that I remember a while ago they kept asking for for 1 year, I guess, for the mixer, and that's like they had no intention of getting him back, and here is back again in the WC banner. I mean, and the WC is kind of probably the best place to put the mixer in.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of pulls, a lot of SSRs, so you get more enticed to actually use them in the mixer.
Have I mentioned that the mixer is garbage? I think I've mentioned that before, right?
It is garbage. It is garbage. Yeah, I know. Trust me. It is way too garbage.
Yeah, it's not very good. Oh, maybe I should turn off the alerts. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna turn off the alerts while we're doing this. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that, I mean, that I've noticed that they're kind of paying attention to, and they kind of try little by little. Offering katagiris again was one way of doing it. I mean, they're selling them, but that's better than just not having them available ever, right? That's just strictly an improvement. They just had an event where they let you pick up 5 katagiris in case you were having trouble with one of the hidden abilities, which I immediately put to work because I really don't want to be trying to farm those katagiris, man. Like, that takes like effort.
Yeah, totally.
I don't want to expend effort. What the hell is effort?
Also, don't forget about the skip tickets. A lot of people were asking for it. I mean, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Even though it's a general gacha game item that most every gacha in existence, but they still listened and they actually bought it after 2 years.
Yeah, but like skip tickets wound up being kind of weird because we would like, for example, to be able to use our skip tickets on, say, the current event, right? The training event. Why can't I just throw a hilarious amount of skip tickets at the event? Like I have 110. I just want to get rid of them. I just want let me just farm 110 times. Why can't I do that? Who knows? No one's actually sure.
Because you need to keep playing. You need to be logged in all the time.
But
They want you to keep on logged in.
But I got things to do, man. I gotta like pick my nose. I gotta pet my cat. I can't be playing all the time. Like, who do these guys think I am?
They think you are you exist for Tsubasa pretty much. You
Jesus.
exist to play the game, and you know the more you play, the more the more they have good statistics of having players in, and of course they get revenue out of that as well, and they get to be better in the ratings of the apps. So yeah, they have to always have you playing 24 hours.
I guess.
And it is just exhausting, to be honest.
I wonder also because sometimes they listen to what we say, but then they also do absolutely crazy, like, insane stuff. For example, Pascal, can we agree that Blue Pascal is the only thing that makes Rainbow, like, South America even remotely desirable? Because that character is like, did you ever want to wake up in the morning and dream that you were a really good pass-cutting defensive midfielder? Well, with Pascal on your team, if you're from South America, you can also be a pass-cutting defensive midfielder, the one you've always dreamed to be.
Because everyone can be a pass-cut. Even the GK can be.
Yeah, everyone becomes a pass-cutting midfielder when Pascal is on the field, as long as you're from South America, because he's racist. He can't just be like, you're my friend, here, be a pass cutter. He's like, no, are you from South America? No, get out of here. We don't take to your kind around here. But I'm from Europe. I'm from Italy. You're Argentinian. We're basically the same thing. No, leave.
Nope.
Go away.
But seriously, that skill is probably the one thing that's gonna get me to shift to South American at one point, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like,
imagine like if a player has like an A50 pass cut, no one can even do nothing.
So you think that at some point you're gonna start playing South America?
I think in the near future, but looking at the Brazilian banner, that kind of shifted back a little bit, maybe in a couple of months or 4 months.
So that leads me to actually our first little segment here, because I want to play a small game with you, and the game is gonna be that I'm gonna ask you, is it whack? And and when I say is it whack, we're gonna be talking about hold on. We're gonna be talking about whether certain team comps are whack or not. And for this, I have put on my Ace Attorney music. It's very important. And now we're going to be talking about, I'm going to give you, I'm going to tell you a archetype. And when I tell you this archetype, you're going to tell me how you feel about this archetype, and whether it's good or not, and whether you would play it.
All right, let's have it.
So, I'm going to start with a softball here. We're going to start with Rainbow Japan. You have 1 minute, go.
Whack, 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 whack. Whack, 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 whack. Rainbow Japan is probably the strongest in the game. It's even stronger than Japan Blue. You have all the utilities there, all the greens, the blues, and the reds, and with all kind of hidden abilities laying around that kind of shifts around the game. Especially with the new Takeshi, we have another pass cutter in the middle, and of course you have a lot of super subs as well now with all colors. So even those who are not playing generally can should play in the field. So it's super whack. Rainbow Japan is super whack.
All right. So, what would I tell you if Rainbow Japan can only get 36% team skill?
Even though it is the 36, the player stats, the base player stats are really high as well. So 36 is kind of like a 45 blue or a 45 green as well.
But blue can get all of those buffs, but also be 45%, and also they carry Roberto easily, and also they have a gun.
They do, but in the end, you need the whole utility of the hidden abilities and all the players, because you know there's a lot of good players in green, blue, and red. What if you put them all together? Holy shit!
Okay, all right. So next up, is it wack? Rainbow Europe. You have. We're gonna give you a little longer. We're gonna give you a minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think for Europe we need more.
A minute and 30 seconds, and your time starts now.
Is it whack? It is currently. It is not whack. The thing is that the thing about Europe Rainbow is that they don't have enough buffs for them to actually give them up. I think only have 30%. I think that's pretty much all they can get as a whole team. I think they can get more than 30%. That's the main problem with Europe. The second problem is that they have no banners at all. What is the last banner for Europe? I think it was DC Cults, I believe so. And that's a while ago. And he was good, but not that good. But he's still good for Rainbow Europe. Rainbow Europe is currently not whack. It can easily be stomped due to the low team skills that they have buffing each other. And that kind of makes sense because they are Europe, they're not one nation. But at some point in the future, they're of course going to have 45 Rainbow as well, which I think should be in the next few months.
Okay, so I will counteract with, if you have Morientes Guti and the Christmas Levin, you have 33 to blue. No, actually, you have 33 to red, and then 38 to blue and green.
Yeah, but
on top of that, you have 3 players that both give 4% to Europe in some way. So they all basically are a bonus 4% per color. And because you are in Rainbow, you are enticed to run Hidden Ability Schneider and Hidden Ability Kaltz, which allow you to play very good Chester and a very good Margus, and also allow you to play Mueller at a lot of buff. So your goalkeeper is actually taken care of. You get to field stuff like the Red Pierre. You have a high baller in the blue Chester, which makes it very easy to set up Morientes and, for example, a Margus. You also have a good red option by fielding Dreamfest Napoleon, who gets kind of a bad rap nowadays, even though he's still like crazy strong. And someone mentioned that Hidden Ability Mueller is another 2%, but no one's running that Mueller when you have access to 18 Mueller, who basically never stops saving the ball ever for any reason. So I don't see how Rainbow Europe is not actually pretty strong in terms of powering each other up. And you can even do stuff like maybe sacrifice the blue Gentile if you don't feel you need the 4% to give yourself a countermeasure against, you know, Japan.
Which is the red Gentile, yep.
Yeah, and so I think there's a lot of options.
There are a lot of options. The thing is, a lot of the hidden abilities of the Europes are actually old characters, which are, even with the highest buffs, they're still not gonna be in the the meta with the Rainbow Japan. Maybe not even close to them. For example, we have those who buffs Europe. We have DC Health is good. We have what do you call them? 11, green 11. And we have green Claymore as well.
Yeah, but we're not gonna.
It's pretty good.
We're not gonna play green Levin. Why would we play green Levin when we have hidden ability? Now, when we have Christmas Levin for a good pass cutter in the back or as a bench option, because he gives 13% to Europe.
30% to the whole Europe or just blue?
13% to all of Europe.
Oh, to all Europe. Yeah, I guess we play that better than the hidden ability of it, because the 2%.
Well, it's not just that. The 2% from Levin is only to green, and you don't need that.
Nobody loves green.
Well, Green Europe low key has a team, but that's not part of Is It Whack?
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to get Rainbow Europe. So I say it is not whack.
Well, not whack would mean that it's good, right? Or that it's bad. Because not
It's
whack,
good.
yeah.
It's good.
It's good means not whack. Okay. So anyways, finally for our last team in Is It Whack, I present to you Rainbow South America. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds. Go.
Okay, I'm not gonna include the new banner. I'm gonna
You have to.
No.
You have to.
If I do include it, then it's not whack at all. I mean, the DMs are just not that good. The whole way, South Americans' main point of the low point is the DMs, and when they actually finally came in, they're not that good because they always have to rely on each other. So you need a 2DM formation to actually make them viable. I mean, South America is still stronger than Europe. I think it is whack, and it is stronger than Europe because we have a lot of hidden abilities that actually buff themselves, and they actually are viable and high in stats. We have, of course, Guerrero Roberto. We have a Blue Victorino. Also, Green Diaz. And of course, we don't forget the two forwards, Hino and Santana. Green, of course. So it is whack. It is whack. I really love South America. It's actually a very, very strong team. The one main problem is gonna be the goalkeeper, pretty much. Goalkeeper is always a problem for South Americans, because the whole manga only has one, sadly, only one GK, which is Salina. I mean, there's no viable GK for South America.
Well,
sadly,
your time has expired, and the time that it took you to talk about it, Diaz has taken over the screen of my stream. And Diaz would like to disagree with you because he doesn't need anything, he doesn't need anybody else, he just needs to dribble 3 times and he wins.
I don't like this Diaz.
This Diaz is the best.
Like
Look at him. Look at these beautiful pixelated eyes and tell me that he sucks.
The pixel eyes are charming. I don't like this Diaz because I have to actually do dribble or do something to actually gain anything, and it expires when you get a goal or when you finish the he keeps getting bigger and bigger.
So you're trying to tell me is that you don't like Diaz because he takes effort to play?
Diaz. Yes, it takes a lot of effort. Of course, because you have a lot of defensive midfielders and defenders that are actually very strong. Even if you do a correct passing or dribble, you still have really high DMs, strong DMs that are actually going to counter you easily. So it's going to fail anyway.
Okay. All right. So there you have it. Rainbow Japan, not whack. Rainbow Europe, not whack. Rainbow South America, incredibly whack. What we're trying to say is Rainbow Japan's not whack. It's good.
Whack means good or bad?
Whack means terrible.
Oh, whack! I thought whack means good.
No. All right. So now we've also understood that Weiss does not have a command of crappy American slang. And so we have determined that Rainbow Japan is the least whack. Rainbow Europe is next to last. And Rainbow South America is so whack that you should never play them, and you should just stop. Anyways.
Oh, you should just stare into Diaz's eyes.
Just stare into Diaz's beautiful eyes, and remember that Diaz is the only thing that's not whack about that team. Moving on, let's go back to talking about some of these here banners real quick. But for that, I need to change the music because this music is just, I get it. Okay, cool. Thank you, Phoenix. Right.
Do you have the new Brazil banner music? It's pretty good.
Yeah, but we're not playing that because no one cares about that banner. We're gonna play some Valentine's music because that's exciting and happy, and it makes us forget the fact that if you're not from Japan, you suck in this game. Anyways, Uruguay. Uruguay turned out to be a surprisingly okay banner, even though it only had 2 players. If only because it finally gave us a version of Victorino in green that can shoot the ball. And there's a version of Hino in red that is actually okay. And I feel like a lot of people overlooked the banner because they were South American and they weren't Japanese, which is kind of like a self-defeating prophecy. It's like, oh, it's not Japanese, so who cares? Right? Why would you play it if it's not Japanese? And for me, that feels like people are kind of missing the point. For like South American players to get stronger, you would have to release several South American players, and you can't release them all in the same banner. Although they did just try to, and then they released a bunch of really bad ones, and that leads me to talk about how much better the Uruguay banner is for a 3% no one's guaranteed banner than a 270 Dream Ball step up for 5 losers. Well, 4 losers and
4 losers.
And a remade Dream Collection Murasaki.
Pretty much.
With worse stamina. And basically everyone in Brazil apparently contracted asthma. And and now they just run around in circles just like exhausted. They can't breathe. They have to have inhalers on them at all times. What is up with that? Why do you think... What is K-Lab doing making Brazil like this?
This is the most puzzling question that anyone is gonna have to face, to be honest. Everyone thought that Brazil banner was gonna be strong, same as last year's banners, but it's just a shock to see how bad this banner is.
But
I mean, even Salinas, who's kind of okay, is still not up to the match with other banners.
So you said that last year Brazil was also strong, but I've got a counter argument to that. Besides the red Natureza, which is the only red Natureza besides the actual like 0.01% one, who is still used in that team? In any of those, from any of those players?
Still used none. But at that time, at that meta, they were actually okay. I mean, you can't compare them with Brazil's banner. This banner, it's not comparable. Last year's banner was way better than this one. At least the last banner has a little bit of, I'm not saying equal, but close to equal to the Japanese banners in terms of strength. But here's just, no, it's way too far. The gap is way too far.
But, I don't know, like, I never thought, for example, that Santana was very good. He was okay. I never thought that... the Alberto's still used, if only because the Alberto is still a South American buff on a green team, which makes him kind of useful for some South American green. But nowadays, he's completely forgotten because Super Solidarity is a thing. And so he no longer has to carry your team into having the buffs that you need, right? And then... So Alberto being important for green teams is no longer a thing. So who else? Like, only the Natureza still sees something. Rival didn't come in that banner. He came by much later, and he's not very good. He's actually kind of a joke when you compare him to Aoi, because Aoi was the best player in the game and got better. And Hidden Ability Raul was a character that existed, and he didn't really improve in any way that I would consider like palpable. Like, I didn't see any improvement in that character. He's like, hey, look, guys, I can pass cut. And everyone's like, but you don't have a pass cut. And then they were like, wow, I have a raid now for a pass cut. That's really cool. And he's like, check out my cool pass cut with 7,000 pass cut stats. And the worst B pass cut you could have possibly given me. And everyone just kind of looked at each other like, what? And then he's like, but yeah, and then he's like, oh, but don't worry, guys, I can now shoot from a difficult angle. And everyone's still looking at each other like, And then he's like, nah, but don't worry about it. If I shoot against a red player, I'm a little stronger. And everyone just kind of looked at each other like, like, that guy's not really supposed to shoot. He's like a passer.
Is not.
He still doesn't have a pass. A pinpoint pass EX is not a real pass.
It's not. It's not even close.
Yeah, basically, Green ran up to that banner like, can I get a... And then didn't know what to order because there was nothing on the menu. And so, I still, to this day, don't understand what the point of those banners were. I know a lot of people were like, oh yeah, man, but Salinas, he saves so much stamina. Even I was like, wow, Salinas, he's so cool. And then you looked at, you know, Genzo and, you know, Mueller. And you were just like, what even is this character supposed to do? And then and then later they're like, hey, check it out. We got a Dream Pot. Check out these 2 Italian players that you can only get in this cool Dream Pot. Wow. And you pull on the Dream Pot, and what you get is a guy who 2 people have and whose only special ability is the fact that he tackles you really hard. And another guy who punches the ball. But he starts terrible. So, what does he do? It's like, oh man, the more tired I am, the better I become. And I'm like, yeah, but the reason you're tired is because I'm leading 3-0. Right?
True.
Like, why does that character exist?
You can easily score on him when he's 99.
Yes.
With like a level 50 Raiju, easily.
Exactly. So it's like, why even these banners? It's so bizarre. And then like, how do you even fix those players? Like, if I was K-Lab, I just forget that the Red Geno exists. I'm like, whatever. Just ignore him. There's no hope for that character. We fucked him up on the design from the beginning. That's my one F-bomb of the day. We're now officially rated R. Can't have children watching. And like, what is Gentile supposed to do in a meta where there's 2 Gentiles that are better than him, one of which debuffs Japan so hard that Rainbow Europe could ostensibly 9% debuff Japan, which is like one of the main ways that Red and Rainbow Europe can really deal with anything, really. Or you could run the blue other Geno that his entire job in life is to run up to Aoi and shoot him in the legs. Like, that's so much better if you actually think about it.
It is.
And seeing as how Brazil has never gotten a really good banner, let's be real. Let's actually look at the Brazil banners, okay? Let's really think about the Brazil banners. The first Brazil banner ever, only 1 player is still ostensibly used, and there's a better 0.01% player than him. And that red player is Natureza. The next banner, the best player is Pepe.
It's Pepe, yeah. True.
Anytime you start a discussion with, hey, check out my banner, the best player in the banner is Pepe.
It's Pepe.
The conversation ends. especially when you mention the other characters being Leo and Santana. Have I mentioned that the Santana shot is one of the worst shots in the game?
The whole card is bad. It's just one of the worst cards to be released as a WC outfit, to be honest.
They're just like collection cards. Like, you only have them if you want them to look pretty in your inventory. But if you're trying to actually play this game and beat other people, you picked up exactly 0 of them.
I think they only made him so they can have the 3 shot with him, the animation.
Pretty much.
That's it.
So, but then now let's talk about the current banner. We're not going to talk about. I haven't even made a video. I actually don't want to make a video.
I barely went through it today and made it.
I
barely went through it.
Because making videos now is actually a lot of effort, and I don't want to expend the effort on having to tell you not to pull on the Brazil banner. But I have to, because that's like my job, quote unquote, for the community in this YouTube channel. So I have to actually go out here and do something, and that hurts me in a way that I cannot describe.
Look, my usual videos on the WC banners take about 45 minutes to explain about 4 to 5 players. In this video that I made today, it's only 24 minutes. That shows you how bad they are, and I just skipped through. I pretty much skipped through Marcio.
Wow.
Totally skipped him.
I mean, if you talk about Dugo, you already talked about Marcio, right? Like you just gotta be like, you just gotta bring up Marcio and be like, all right, it's the same player. That's it. Moving on.
No. It's the same player with the worst skill.
It gets even better because you know Casagrande is just copy paste Blue Jito with Insight Master.
He pretty much is.
Like,
but he's still okay. Okay.
Yeah,
He's that
yeah,
good.
with his sub 900 stamina and his asthma aspirator and oxygen mask, I suppose he's all right. What is he supposed to do? Like, the gacha version of the blue one is better in green as a splash and super solidarity than the green one is.
True. Yeah, way true. You should just give him B tackles and B skills.
Just don't, no, just pull him, go, wow, cool, I have this player, and then put him away.
Mixer.
Basically. So, and that leads me to believe that there can never be a good Part 2 Brazil banner for this banner because we've already introduced the players who are supposed to be like the semi-pros, they play at like a club level sort of deal. So who do we have left? We only have Natureza, who's actually a character that we're waiting for that might be good. And then after that, it's Alberto, Pepe, and Leo. And like Georgie.
Maybe Radunga.
Radunga can't be in the banner because he's not World Youth.
He's not World Youth, I know, but you don't know what they're gonna.
No, it's the World Youth banner.
Scale-up.
No, it's the World Youth banner. Rival was specifically released for like a dream transfer, not necessarily World Youth. He was just kind of like a cool guest character, and that's how Rival was treated by the story right now. Rival has no story beats because he's not in the story yet. So basically, they're not gonna add Radunga because Radunga didn't play with them at that time. Radunga's a fully grown adult, and these are kids. Rival is a fully grown adult, and these are kids. Roberto is a fully grown adult, and these are kids. So none of that is gonna happen.
You know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid that Natureza is gonna be a super sub. Super sub.
I mean, that's how he should be, right?
Exactly.
That's what they've been doing. But what if he's a super sub with like 14k shot when he comes in as a super sub?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be good.
What if he is a super sub and he comes with Miracle Flying Drive Shot? What if instead of releasing that Natureza, they finally do hidden abilities of the Dreamfest characters, and they put the old blue Dreamfest Natureza with hidden abilities, and one of the hidden abilities is super sub.
One hidden ability is super sub. That's gonna make him viable again. Even though the blue Natureza is still kind of okay. He's still not that bad.
I mean, he actually has 53k stats, so he's actually hitting the current gacha meta.
Exactly.
So they could give him 100 to each stat to not break him, and then just make him insane. Like, that's a possibility. And then they would have incentive to maybe release the green Natureza as a hidden ability, and also put him in the 97 as a 97 Dreamfest unit for Japan. That would be cool. These are all like cool ideas that they could do, which they won't because it actually makes too much sense. And that's what I always say. If something makes too much sense, no one does it. And I don't mean just by K-Lab. I mean in general, when something makes too much sense, it's ignored and skipped, and they do something else like fart in a can. I don't know.
No, the thing is, the old Natureza is still the same Natureza that played at the final match between Japan and.
Exactly, that's why it would make sense.
Yeah, but the thing is, if they have another version at the exact same match, what abilities is gonna have? Because he only did Miracle Shot. That's pretty much it.
That's the only thing that he has is Miracle Flying Drive Shot. So if that's the thing he has, Miracle Flying Drive Shot, then why wouldn't you just go back to the Dreamfest Natureza and make him good again, right? Like, that is the most obvious cool re-release that you could do. If you already did it for the Dream Collection players, right? You technically re-released Diaz and Pascal. We have now... we have a precedent for them doing this. And so you could go back to Matsuyama and Natureza, who were the first two Dreamfest players released ever, and they're kind of topical for the current banner, so you could just make them better. And then release 2 new Dreamfest characters, which could be, I don't know, you could release like Mueller and Gino if you wanted to, and make them not really that topical, but you can make them new and then re-release the old ones and give them hidden abilities and be like, hey, check it out. If you already have these players, then you can make them really good, and if you don't, then whatever, you know, do whatever you want. And again, like I said, that would be really cool, and it would make a lot of sense, and because it makes a lot of sense, it's unlikely to happen.
It is. Sense and Killab doesn't look eye to eye, to be honest.
I mean,
the sad truth.
They read these things, apparently. We all know that Diaz came back good, even though it wasn't the right Diaz. They technically took the ideas and did it somewhere else, so maybe they'll do stuff. Who knows? So yeah, Brazil Part 2, we have no idea what it could be like.
If it's Alberto, okay? If it's Alberto is gonna be at the Part 2, I think it's gonna be a DMDF or just a DF.
I hope he's DMDF because if I recall, Alberto plays both.
He does play both,
and that would make a lot of sense.
If it does come DMDF, then thank God we don't have to play Marcio and Hugo in the team.
Yeah, for real.
We don't need them anymore.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for those things. So now we're gonna talk about something that's very important, especially to some of our viewers. If you're Jato-kun, you know what we're talking about. Let's talk about the Suffering Championship.
the Mamitas.
The Suffering Championship. The Suffering Championship is a event that's happening right now where you can go online and you can play against people with your 720 cap team and get destroyed by a guy that's been playing this game for way too long and knows way more about it than you do at all times and has weird ways of scoring silly goals on you that you have absolutely no chance of stopping. That is the Suffering Championship, and let's briefly discuss it, particularly the Suffering Championship in Tokyo, where we watched Tanaka win the whole thing and no one remembers him, and we're still talking about Mamitas today.
Mamitas was the talk of the match, because she actually did a lot of weird stuff. I mean, RNG was on her right side pretty much the whole way.
I mean, that's kind of like an indictment of the game, right? Like, Mamitas managed to basically just make it that far on the power of I have full power and I press skydive shot and I score twice.
Pretty much.
Like,
generally they were good matches, but the 720k is a little bit, I don't know. It should have been better. It should have been better.
I feel like the players that were good died really early to a lot of randomness and stage nerves. Like, Tapioca had no reason to be losing that as early as he did. Koji lost pretty early. Tanaka making it to the end, like, Tanaka's good, so I don't have any problem with Tanaka making it to the final. He's actually probably, of all the people that could have won, Tanaka was up there. But, for example, Tapioca, the guy at number 7, whose name was really complicated, I don't remember it. All these players that went out there, there were like at least 4 or 5 killers. And then the rest of the players were just like viable. Like, they would have been alright. And yet, here we are with like, all of that didn't matter because at the end of the day, we're still talking about how Mamitas kept scoring with skydive shot.
Skydive shot is the weirdest shot in the game. I think it has a different calculation than another shot. It gets goals like no other shot in the game. Skydive and true skywing shot.
I mean,
they both get goals easily.
I mean, let's be real. Like, skydive shot is skydive shot. It's not that it has anything special about it. It's that it's a 500 momentum shot. Like, people forget that thing scales like crazy.
It does, yeah.
And so Tsubasa has good shooting stats, and then full power is a real thing. So if you shoot a 500 cap shot, yeah, you're gonna threaten the goalkeeper no matter what. And then it's Dream Championship, so the RNG is compressed because all the numbers are really close to each other. So you get a lot of random results, and that is a random result. And random results win games sometimes. And they certainly won the game for her because she went and she played the she played the penalty kicks exactly how she should have played them. And the reason I say that is because while I was streaming it, I was calling out everything she should have done, and she did everything I said to do, and then she won the penalty kicks. And then the other guy was like, what do I do? And then the other guy also managed to hit the post twice. So, you know.
Twice? Was it twice or thrice? I think it was 3 times.
He hit the post at least twice. It was pretty bad.
It was bad.
But yeah, like, I don't understand. Like, my dude got bodied by just. He played like so intelligent, so smart. He was trying to do all these things. He was trying to like play intelligent. And Mamitas was like, I got the ball. I'm gonna shoot.
That's a goal.
Yeah, it's a goal. And the other guy, like, what? If you're in that position, like, what do you do? Like, I would have like rage quit even on stage. Like, I don't care. I'll be like, all right, cool. By the second pulse, I would have been like, that's nice, good game. I would have turned around, shook her hand, and be like, I'm out of here. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, his team wasn't that great either. Like, his team composition was kind of questionable. Because if your goalkeeper is giving up late game skydive shots like they were nothing, then maybe figure out how you're supposed to handle the buffs on your team.
Can Wakashimazu, that's the answer.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
the
much.
answer of a dream championship. It's can.
You just
it's
play 10. So now that we know that how kind of wild it goes, because the Dubai qualifier was actually pretty the Dubai qualifier was actually pretty straightforward, right? Like it featured pretty normal play. Nothing from the Dubai qualifier that I managed to catch and watch struck me as, oh wow, I can't believe that happened. It was all pretty normal. And in the Tokyo qualifier, it's the complete opposite. It was like the RNG show. Like, people try to outthink each other so hard that it didn't matter because a guy just was like, skydive shot. Ta-da! Boom, done. You know, like that's great. That's great that you used your brain power to this extent for me to press one button and score. I hope that you enjoyed this match. GG. You know, like, and obviously Mamitas didn't make it past the round of 8. Like, she didn't make it past quarters. And then semis were actually pretty intense, and then finals were pretty intense. So knowing that, and knowing that France is actually like a viciously competitive region, what is France gonna be like?
I think France is gonna be crazy, especially there's one there's one aspect I think Caleb did not shed a light on, or did not think of, is that by the time you go from Dubai to Japan to Hong Kong to Paris, then Hong Kong, a lot of players will be already in, new players that are actually gonna benefit a lot in the tournament. So basically, those who played first probably have more disadvantage than those who gotta play last. So I think they did not see that coming, or in the calculations that they have, because you know with the 1997 players, 720 teams now can be extremely good, especially with the new hidden abilities like Akai. We have Takeshi as well. So I think Paris is gonna be fierce, and Hong Kong even more fierce, because more players are more now viable in a 720 team.
I actually don't think that the new players are going to impact the 720 teams as much as we think, because all of the new players have really, really, really high stats. They're like in the 50s and higher, and that makes them very difficult to fit, and it's already hard to fit the old good players on teams when you're like so tight for space. Especially like a lot of people assume that Rainbow Japan is like the best team in the Dream Championship, and I'm like, and I'm over here like, did you guys know that Rainbow Europe can set up a header that beats every goalkeeper in the game by several thousand no matter what? Did you know that Green Mix, as long as you can have the right players to lower your team power on the field is like possibly the strongest overachiever in terms of having 2 different nationality shooters at 22k or better, and a goalkeeper at 22k or better base. You know, like there's a lot of stuff happening in the Dream Championship that people don't think of because they normally look at what the meta is like in the normal game, and they don't consider what the meta might be like on 720. Because, like, think about it. Think about green. Green has like 2 or 3 players that they can field that are inexpensive and good to bring team power down, and then you can field an off-color pile of garbage that's like super cheap from like the R to UR that will lower your team power even more. So like you can field like the crappy Urabe to have a 22,000 team power like beat stick that doesn't do anything. It's just a stick, and then it just occupies the space on your formation. And then for a defender, you can field the new Jito, or not the new Jito, but the shop Jito that you can buy right now. And his blocking is insane. He's actually he's better than Dream Collection Robson at blocking, in case you didn't know that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he's free. You can get him for the great price of 0. You just gotta farm for him real briefly. And then there's you could also field, for example, the event Nachareza if you wanted to, and he is like an immense passer, and he's also technically free. He can't defend, but you know what's that? Who cares? And obviously, if you have played if you've played Captain Tsubasa enough that you're decent at the time attack, you have Stormy. And I don't have to talk a lot about Stormy.
You don't need to.
Yeah, and then that's just green. That's green, like just green mix. Rainbow Europe can field a chest Chester that's excellent at passing, a chest Margus that can be buffed by hidden ability Schneider, who has like no stats, so he's really easy to fit into a team. And then you can add you can actually make a version of hidden ability Schneider that only goes to the +5 to Japan and the -5 to Japan and the +5 to Germany, and not break anything else, so that you can save points. And then you can field you can field basically like you can put Morientes and Guti on the bench just for their team skills, and then field an eclectic mix of players that will get you to about 720 with the 18 Schneider, the 18 Margus, and Dream Collection Kaltz in the back. Dream Collection Kaltz directly counters Stormy Resurrection Hyuga with an intercept, so you give him like an S30 intercept or like an S30 tackle or whatever the fuck you want, who cares? And nothing happens. You just basically walk up to every team and you're like, alright, well, I'm going to give the ball to Chester. Chester's going to send the high ball to Margus and I'm going to score. What do you do?
You practically can't do anything.
What's your counter to that? And you're just like, oh, I don't know.
Pretty much.
Because Dream Pop Margus is crazy. Like, everyone was sleeping. Like, everyone was like, Dream Pop players are like scoff. Who cares about those guys? What if they sell them again? What if the next 2nd anniversary, what if they bring back, and they should bring back all of the Europeans. So they should bring back the Dream Pot Swedish players and the Dream Pot German players, and you should be able to buy them with the little medals that we have now. Imagine those guys in the shop, and you can pick up Margus again, and then just put Margus up front in a Rainbow Europe. Like, okay, well, if I get the ball, I win.
Oh, I would love these because the really strong chess players are the best fitting for low tier game like 720.
Yeah, and like people forget about that. People forget that the Dream Champion is all about putting characters in that like don't make sense at first, but then you think about everything together and you're like, oh wait, this is broken. Like,
yeah, pretty much. One example is Matsuyama, as you mentioned before in your videos.
Sorry about that. But yeah, Matsuyama is like crazy in the Dream Championship. Outside of the Dream Championship, he's alright. But in the Dream Championship, he can mug you for the ball. If you're trying to run like Red Japan, like he's one of the players that brings down your team power while being in archetype, right? Like the Green Jito is a player that brings down your team power while being in archetype. Stormy is a character that really fits a team while bringing down your team power in archetype. And I don't think people are really considering any of that. And so I know that the French are way better about looking at really weird interactions like that and going, you know what I think? I think this will work. And they'll come up with cool stuff like that. I know, for example, like, and my only problem though is that I don't know how they select players because Aaron didn't get chosen, and I think Aaron's probably. I know a lot of people.
Really?
Every time I say this, some guy, indubitably from France or from some other region that's close to France or that's played a bunch of French players, comes in and they're like, Aaron's not the best player in the region. I think you're stupid and should kick yourself in the dick. And like, Aaron's totally the best player in the French region. Like, he just won a tournament recently. I know one tournament win doesn't mean that automatically he's the best, but he places high at everything. He's always telling people like, oh man, nah, they're strong players. They got the Universe 7 players. They got these players. They got that players. I'm like, dude, it's Aaron. Like, that guy thinks about the game like in 4 dimensions and shit. Like, we're all here playing 2D Captain Tsubasa, and he didn't even go to 3D. He went to 4D. My dude has like 2 extra dimensions than everybody else. He got double the dimensions, and we're all like here like, haha, I pass ball to forward and shoot. Like, Jesus. I don't understand. I don't know. I'm not even trying to disparage the rest of like the rest of the French region. The rest of the French region is really good. But
I actually never played against French players, to be honest.
yes, you
before.
have. You just don't know it.
I haven't.
Yes.
I haven't as I know that he is French. You know, of course,
Listen,
in online I would have.
For sure, you've gone into the Dream Championship and played against a random guy who dragged you in the Dream Championship, and you're wondering, wow, who is that guy? And the guy was probably from France. I played a couple of French players, but I played like the lower level French players, I guess, because I ran into some Universe 7 players in the last Dream Championship, and they like hit me with like the Ikuze from the start, and then at the 4th goal they rage quit. And so that guy I must have run into like the team bum or like the club bum, because I saw that and I was like, damn, I didn't know that Universe 7 players rage quit in the Dream Championship. That's rough.
It is like it's a minus 30 points.
Yeah, for them, but like they gave me like no points for doing it, so I was like, damn, that's rough. But yeah, like the French players are all pretty good, but then like some of the players that are in the French clubs that place high aren't even French. Like Breo isn't French, but he places really high. He's actually one of the better players. He's in a French club, but he's not French. So he's actually, I think he's Latino. I don't know where he's from, but he always plays in the Latino tournaments. But Aaron's channel link, man, we don't got nothing on that. But yeah, it's just really weird. Like, I think the French tournament's gonna be great, and I'm hoping to restream it. That'll be fun.
Aren't you going anymore?
No, man, I don't have time.
That
They didn't give me the time off of work, so I can't go. So.
Damn it.
It is what it is. Anyways.
It is. No, I'm very sure that the clubs are gonna do more championships. Probably region-only championships. I hope so.
I mean, I hope so. That'll be interesting. They should probably bring one to like Miami, considering that Miami is a hub for Latin America. And it wouldn't be that difficult for a lot of people from Latin America to check it out. So, you know, that'd be nice. True. Anyways, that's it for our Suffering Cup coverage. Let's talk about what we think real quickly. Let's discuss what we think the next banners are going to be like. And I will let you start. What do you think the next banners in July are going to be like? Give me your, if you are K-Lab, give me your 4-step plan for global wallet domination. Go.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna return every player. I'm gonna return what do you call it? The club players, Guti, Roberto Carlos, the Real Madrid. I'm gonna add as well Barcelona's banner. I think Barcelona's banner is gonna be good after the current Copa America. It is time for them to move to European banners and European clubs. So I think it is viable to get the Barcelona banner, as well as Real Madrid banner as well as a pickup for those who missed on the Real Madrid players. As for the next banners, I believe after Copa America, they're gonna shift to European banners. So European players, get ready, soon to be dominating again in the meta. Because these South American banners, as you can see, the DC1, and the Uruguayan, which is the first time they put a Uruguayan World Cup banner as well. So it's all because of Copa America. So Copa America is just as South American Japanese, because Japan is playing with them as well. So it makes sense that it's gonna be Japan, South America until Copa is done, and they're gonna shift to Europe straight away, because at the same time, I think Europa Cup is on as well. So yeah, get ready for Europe banner within July.
All right.
It's gonna be a whole Europe banner in July. Trust me on that. Even the fest is gonna be Europe.
All
Most
right.
likely Xeno. I'll say Xeno is a viable one. A green Xeno.
Green Gino.
We
Okay.
don't want red. We don't want red. No more reds.
All right. Well, this is how I think it's gonna go down. So first off, we're gonna get another Brazilian banner with the remaining Brazilian players, and that'll be the next banner. That'll start this this next banner in July. To finish this month, or like what's gonna be Dreamfest, is gonna be what I said earlier. It's gonna be Natureza Matsuyama, and then like the two new players, and the two new players I think is gonna be, I think they will be, I think it'll be a green Mueller and a blue Gino.
Blue Gino.
Yes. And they will set up for a new red player at the end of July. But as July starts and June ends, I think it will be a blue Gino and a green Mueller. Green Mueller will complete the archetype for Green Europe, and blue Gino will actually be like finally a version of Gino that doesn't suck. A lot of people might think that Dream Collection Gino is relevant to this conversation, but none of the Dream Collection goalkeepers are relevant to the conversation, and they haven't been
None of them.
They haven't been for months. Almost a year they haven't been relevant to the conversation. Almost upon release they weren't relevant to the conversation, I mean. And so none of it matters. The Dream Collection goalkeepers don't matter except Morisaki, who's a monster. And so I don't think that they'll matter at all. So we'll get updates for those characters. Then we will go into July. The second Brazilian banner will come out. It won't have Natureza in it because it will have just updated the Dreamfest Natureza. But it will have the remainders of everybody else. It'll have like Pepe, Leo, Alberto, Giorgi, Senaldo. Basically all the remaining World Youth players that played in the finals. They will all be featured. Then after that, I suppose that they might give like hidden ability to somebody. I don't know. I don't know if any of those players will have hidden abilities, but if anyone was going to have any, I would actually bet on them being Pepe and Leo.
Pepe. Yep. I would say Pepe as well.
And then after that, we will go into a weird banner. Like we'll have like an off banner, kind of like the Uruguay banner. That
Asian banner.
No.
Asian banner.
It'll be something weird. It could be something strange like Mexico. Like they got Mexico, but there was no way that they'll actually release new versions of the 5 Mexicans. So it might just be Espadas by himself. It might be 2 versions of Espadas. It might be a forward Espadas and a goalkeeper Espadas in different colors that you get. And they will have the Mexican kit, the current Mexican kit, which is, I guess, the black one. And then you'll be able to get those kits in the store. And then after that, we will have an actual proper, like, a real banner for Europe.
Europe?
And it will, I don't think it will specifically be like Germany, I think it will be something like all of Europe sort of thrown together in a step up banner. Because I think that it would actually probably be too difficult to bolster Europe otherwise, but it could be like, actually it could be Sweden. Sweden would be a good idea. They could do a 4 plus like a 6-step Sweden banner and then make 4 really good Swedish players, because they did include a lot of players that counter Sweden, so that's possible, and they could make like a really strong version 11. After that, they could release the Dream Collection really early again and include, I don't know, Italy, but there's already a Dream Collection version of Gino and of Gentile, so who knows. Maybe at some point some Dutch players, but I don't think so because no one cares about the Dutch players. But they are probably like probably the viable people. It could be something crazy too, like they could do hidden abilities for all of Holland and all of Mexico and make them crazy. That's always possible, who knows. They could re-release, actually I wouldn't mind them re-releasing the 2018 France banner at some point also, and give people another chance at getting them. That would be actually quite cool. That's probably going to happen at some point. And then we'll get some like cool new last character, kind of like how they did the last year. And then you'll be able to get them, like get all the new European players. But I don't think Brazil gets much better. And I think that they'll just release a bunch of new Europeans to try to compete. They'll probably hidden abilities some of the Europeans that weren't hidden abilities before. I think some of the candidates for some of the European players might be the Blue Napoleon, not the Pierre, because the Pierre is already too good. Again, all of Holland, maybe Mexico. I don't know. Like, there's just a lot of crazy stuff you could do. But again, a lot of it makes too much sense, so K-Lab won't do it.
Before we speculate, did you notice that the hidden ability for the new WC Japan, the match is Net Teresa versus Tsubasa, which is actually the last match in the World Youth series. Yes. This means that we're kind of finishing World Youth now.
No, but the story and game hasn't gotten there yet.
Story and game, but I think we'll get it in the next update. In a very soon update. That's
actually pretty possible that they start updating with the rest of the story, because I think we just got through Mexico and Uruguay. Mm-hmm. And then after Mexico and Uruguay, it's the Netherlands.
Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden.
They play the Netherlands again, don't they?
There's no Netherlands.
Yeah, they do. Don't they literally skip it?
They skip it. It's just like a one panel. So
yeah,
it's one page thing.
But there is a match.
There is, but
They will cover it. They will cover it because because they cover matches in this game that they normally skip. They cover Korea. You play Korea properly in this game, even though Korea is like a 2-panel match.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And so they're gonna cover the Netherlands match, the second one, and that might be why they reintroduce Sweden, add some extra stuff, and then also do add story so that they can get to the last matches. That's actually the reason why I think that hidden abilities for our 10 least liked characters are possible. It's because to actually make them viable again. Making all of Sweden actually usable actually really helps bolster Rainbow Europe. Even if you have to run all those players, if you don't have to run all of them, like if you can skip Dolman, you're in there. And so the way to skip Dolman is to make everyone really strong, even without him. Or you can just make Dolman really good as long as he's with the rest of the Netherlands players. And then people won't have to like pray for Dreamfest Dolman or whatever stupid thing they said.
NXS, you can never skip Dolman.
Dolman sucks.
Dolman is our Lord and Savior.
No, that's Urabe.
No, it's Dolman now.
No, it's Urabe. It's still Urabe. It will always be Urabe. Urabe is such a meme that he becomes a god in the game now too. That's actually proof that K-Lab listens to everything we do.
But I think they should release a new Mexican banner, to be honest. I mean, Mexico actually did great in manga, even though not that great, but they actually did something. and the current cards for them doesn't actually make them viable. Not viable. That doesn't actually give them the full potential that they did in the game versus Japan. So I would love to see a new Mexican banner.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right, well, let's we're reaching the end of the show, and so now that we're reaching the end of the show, we gotta do something very important, which is something that I think stuff like this should have, which is questions from viewers. So if you guys have a question that you would like to ask us, go ahead and put it in the chat. I'll pick a bunch of questions and then we will cover them, and then as you know, ask some good questions. Maybe you got questions about the podcast, maybe you got questions about the banners, maybe you got questions about what we think about a topic, and we'll try to cover them. We're not going to give long answers, so if you ask a really complex question, we might gloss over it in a way that's not super useful. So you know, we have a question. Yeah, we have a question here for Fro. What do you think about Dreamfest Xiao playing in a Blue Japan or South America team? I think it's fine. I don't.
I think Xiao is the second best interceptor in the game. I believe so, and he's like the fourth or fifth in total stats. So playing with the Japan Blues, he's gonna be really strong, especially because Japan doesn't have Blue Japan doesn't have a very good DM, like a really good DM.
Yeah, they do
as a main.
Yeah, they do. Event Aoi.
Blue Aoi.
Yes.
Blue Aoi is just interception. That's all he can do.
Yeah. Okay. So he's about as good as Blue Xiao at S55.
At S55.
Yeah. You know that skill that no one levels up. Your S intercept. He gets to run up to somebody and go, "Hi, A80 cheap interception. I'm going to take the ball. What did I do? I shot. Okay, I'm taking the ball. I dribbled. I'm taking the ball. I passed. Well, I'm definitely taking the ball." That character literally walks up to people and is like, "Hi, I'm in a matchup. Gimme."
I don't know. I think that that Show is better because Show has a bit of passing stats. So if you get the ball DM, and
Aoi also has passing stats. That's the other thing he has.
Not that great though.
Yes, it's pretty good. It's like not bad. He's like a 10K passer.
I'd still go with Shaw.
All right. Well, I think Shaw is fine, but I wouldn't splash for him in solidarity. Ahmed Kurapika says, "Why do you think we won't get Red Europe Keeper in Dreamfest? Because it is now the turn for Red players to suffer, and you already have a Red goalkeeper. It's called Mueller, and the longer you guys don't accept Mueller into your heart, the longer you're gonna go without a goalkeeper." That's it. That's my opinion on it.
Also because Red team has been the king for about one full year, so
it's not. Enough. Also, finally, Red Europe literally has 3 Dreamfest forwards. That's why you don't get a Dreamfest goalkeeper, because that's called stacking the deck. Just accept Mueller into your heart. Calm down.
He's pretty good. He's strong.
He's not just pretty good. He's crazy good.
He's crazy strong.
He gets a ton of hidden ability buffs. You can, if you don't run Dreamfest Schneider, because you shouldn't, because debuffing Japan is actually more important, and then you still have Red Brian and Red Napoleon to do all of your damage, you have minus 9% to Japanese players, which is crazy, and you give 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you give about 9, you give about plus 11 to Red Mueller. And yeah, actually, it is close to Dreamzo and Ken level, actually. His best and worst case scenarios are better than Dreamzo and Ken's worst case scenarios. And his best case scenario is comparable to the new goalkeepers that just came out. That's more than enough. You really don't need Dreamzo or Ken. And if you're really worried that you need to have a goalkeeper, wait for Super Solidarity buffs and just splash. Stop asking for a Red European Dreamfest goalkeeper. You're fine.
You can have Ken in the Red Europe soon.
You can have Espadas. He's red.
Oh, Espadas is good.
Espadas is good now. Anyways,
Now we good.
let's see. Who else? What do you think? Best team at the moment, Blue Japan.
Oh, Blue Japan, always.
Yeah.
Always Blue
Alright.
Japan.
Ryo Ishizaki, is there another South American goalkeeper in the manga? Yes, by Golden 23 slash Rising Sun, we get the Galtoni. We got the real version of Galtoni, not the ugly one we have right now in the game. He's long hair. He's Argentinian. He plays soccer, I guess.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he's a soccer player, turns out. Angel Mila, what's the plan for this show and how often are you guys going to stream it? I was thinking maybe weekly, hour long, hour and 30 minutes long. We discuss recent happenings in the game. We make fun of the game. We make fun of you who play the game. We make fun of ourselves for playing the game. Right? That's...
I think once a week is enough to cover all the weekly banners that updates that already happened.
Yeah, we're like the anti-KLab Game Station, where KLab Game Station briefly covers the news and then lets you beat them up for Dream Balls. We don't let you do that. We just talk about the game, laugh about it, and then depressingly try to kick at the banner and hopefully something comes out. So yeah. Next question. Kako Pro made a 2-step question and I didn't see what it was, so I'm not reading it. Sinan Saifulov says, do you think KLab listens to TDT players, vloggers, and other people? Yeah, we covered that. Was like the second thing we talked about. No,
the second thing. Yeah.
The second thing. Yeah. Of course they do. That's why Diaz exists. That's why a lot of stuff exists. They definitely pay attention. You might not notice it, but they definitely pay attention. Desert Chill says Super Solidarity Green on non-Japan Asian would make the archetype really interesting. Any thoughts? Yeah, it would let them run a goalkeeper. I'm actually surprised that they didn't experiment with Super Solidarity first with the Green Asians.
Oh, Green Asian Super Solidarity is non-Japan. Oh, that's gonna be super strong. That's gonna be insanely strong.
They should have done that. Like, I don't understand why they didn't just make Super Solidarity Asia, and like non-Japanese Asian, or Super Solidarity Green Asian or something like that, because then they would have had a team already. Like, Green Asia would have a full team. It would be the Thai players, DM Oiron, Green Vulcan. You would have to play like a really weird things going on. I don't know. Kako
Red
Pro
already has a GK.
Gakko Pro says Reds can't have another goalkeeper because they have 3 fast forwards, but Blue Japan has 3 fast forwards and the best goalkeeper. Blue Japan has a trash Dreamfest forward, a Dreamfest forward that's really hard to play properly because you need a limited player, and so you can't really play all 3 of them at the same time. Meanwhile, Red Europe is encouraged to play all 3 of them at the same time. In fact, one of the best formations for Red Europe involves playing all 3 of them at the same time. Literally side by side, and one of them fights great off to the side because he has a no angle shot. And all 3 of them still deal a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Nita might as well not exist anymore.
Nita's is a joke. He's always been a running joke.
Yeah, Hyuga needs like 4 players on the field to make him crazy, and some of them aren't Japanese at all. And for you to succeed with the new twin, the twin needs some version of the other twin. So you need to either run Super Solidarity Green, or you need to run. You need to have access to the 2018 one, and if you have access to the 2018 one, that's a slot and your forward slot that you have to occupy, because you're not going to put the Dreamfest twin at attacking midfielder if you know how to play this game, because he needs the Skylab twin shot. You could put him in the middle of a 3-2-3-2, and that would work, I guess. And then you have to find some way to pass him a low ball, which you don't have guaranteed in blue. So there's a lot of limitations to the blue Dreamfest forwards. The reason why you feel like blue Japan is uber strong is because Hyuga can get like 26% on the field between his passive and everybody else feeding him buffs. He's humongous, and so yeah, Blue Japan feels strong. Sinan is asking me like really specific to my channel questions, and the answers are not now and no. Gacha videos are interesting. If you think gacha videos are interesting, there's other people that you can go watch for gacha videos. You can watch other people. Yeah, you can watch other people throw their money away. That's not my channel. The only way I'm throwing money at anything is if you guys give me the money to throw, because this game is really expensive and I can afford it. And that's why I make videos. That way I can convince you to give me your hard-earned money so that I can kick it. Woohoo! What are the top 2 players that should be updated with better versions in each nationality? Quasar, what do you think?
It is Weiss. It's Weiss, not Quasar.
I thought Quasar joined the fucking channel.
No, he didn't. Quasar had to leave.
Quasar left a message in the chat. That's why I got baited. I thought Quasar joined.
No, he did not.
Yeah, he did. No, literally look at the messages. It says, I still didn't leave. Bro is running late. I hadn't seen.
That's like an hour. That's a half an hour ago.
No, it's not.
It is half an hour ago.
I literally have not looked at the chat. I saw the chat activate. I saw Quasar said something, and I thought he had joined. God damn it. Weiss, because Quasar is not here to talk shit. Weiss.
Yes. So,
who do you think is good?
Top 2 players that should be up. The top 2 players. It's kind of hard. I mean, what is a top player? Is he the one who always scores?
No. Like, what players you think should be updated with better versions? Like the 2 ones that you think need to happen right here, right now.
Nita needs to have a really good version of him.
Nita has like 1,000 versions of him.
Exactly, but they're all bad. That's
no, that is incorrect.
You wouldn't play with them.
If I had red volley Nita, I would play with him as a starter.
A DC? The DC one?
Yep. He's like the 2nd or 3rd best volleyer in the game. And and if you run him with red Takeshi, that's guaranteed murder every time.
Even if I had him, I wouldn't. I think I have a lot of other options in the Japanese team.
And red Japan, really?
Red Japan? No, Japan, no, of course not. I never talk about archetype. I always talk about Rainbow.
No, you gotta talk about archetype because the meta favors archetype right now. In fact, the meta has always favored archetype. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, Rainbow." Rainbow is only okay, guys. Calm down. Rainbow, you can never get to 45 plus team skill, and so as such, if you like winning, you should be talking about archetype.
All right, so I would say Nita. That's the first thing. The other one that needs a really updated version and has not given the love is Salinas.
Salinas literally just got a Dream Collection Murasaki edition, which actually puts him in the list of good goalkeepers that you should potentially like using.
But the thing is, we have a lot of people, a lot of players that actually do a lot of good shots from middle. We have forwards, we have DMs, and we have AMs that actually can do a lot of damage from far away, and really good damage. So having a 30% with high stamina is not that viable. I think it's not that viable. With an easy 2 shots, he's pretty much dead. So I'd rather have someone who could play the whole game rather than playing half a game.
But Murasaki does that just fine, just by spamming A punch, and Salinas gets to spam S punch instead for almost the same stamina cost.
That's the thing. Even with an S punch, you can't possibly get away from skydive shot or from Aoi's shot.
Yeah, he can.
It's not with the full buff team. I don't think so.
He actually, if you do the calculations, he is higher than any version of non-stop Roveshata just with the punch. Skydive shot is something else. Skydive shot, no one can survive that, as we have already seen.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter what goalkeeper you're running. Skydive shot has a chance of scoring at you anyway, so that point is moot. But non-stop Roveshata, you can easily S-punch away. Your S-punch is always stronger than non-stop Roveshata at any distance.
I still think Salinas needs a better version, to be honest. Especially because all of the most, if not all of Salinas versions are very limited. The only okay version is the green one. He's
That
not
is
that
incorrect.
super.
The only good version is the red one.
He's okay as a gacha. As a gacha, he's okay because every other version is either WC or DC, and the DC one is really bad. So any other better one is gonna be WC, and it's very limited that you can't get unless probably 6 months from now or 4 months when they introduce the banners. So the thing is, when I say about good players that needs reimagining, I think about good players that can be gotten easily. You don't have to wait for a special banner to actually get them.
I don't know.
And I would say Nita and Salinas, most
Uh,
unloved players in the game.
all right. For me, the two players that should be updated with better versions are Gino, and that's an easy one because he's getting a Dreamfest version, so I don't have to worry too much about him. And the next player that should have a version that is
Pepe.
updated. No, Pepe already has a good version. Who would I play? Who would I play? Who would I want to get an updated version that's good? In each nationality, we already have the Tachibana twins, so I don't care about those. Rabbit has a good version finally, so that would have been actually one of mine before. I think
Chester?
I don't have an answer to top two. No, Chester has plenty of good versions. The green Chester is insane. The blue Chester is insane. Only red Chester is not that good, and he's still pretty good. Robson has plenty of versions. I don't care about Dolman. We have plenty of Misakis. There's plenty of good Marguses, but people don't know how to use them, and they don't have. Apparently, no one owns a calculator, so no one actually knows how good Margus is.
He is, because he's always very good in high and low shots.
No, only high. But it doesn't matter. Like, there is literally a version of Chester that feeds him high balls. So, he's fine. That's actually the reason why Rainbow Europe is fine for Dream Collection. This one's hard because I think the problem is that we just need a bunch of new decent Europeans with super solidarity for Rainbow or Archetype Europe to be good, and it's the same in South America, so I don't have a real opinion. Obviously, there is a good Pascal finally. There is a really good Diaz now. There's two of them, actually. There's a pretty good version of Nachareza, and then a Dreamfest version of Nachareza. There's a good version of Hino. There's a good version of Victorino. There's a good version of everyone in South America that I can think of. It's just that the team skills aren't there. Gino obviously is like my main complaint because there's no good version of Gino right now. And there can be soon, because Dreamfest is coming with him in it at some point. Man, this question wound up being really hard because they covered all of Japan in such a way that, for example, Takeshi would have been my original selection, but there's a good version of that. I think that
Rivol has good versions.
I think both Galvin and Rivol are fine. I think they're just very specific in how they're used. And so I have a lot of trouble figuring out my last option. I think Hernandez is like my one wish list. Someone please make him good. And it would be cool maybe to have a version of Soda that was actually strong, but he's also getting a Dreamfest version. Man, I really don't know. The problem is that I don't care that much about that many players. I just take whatever they give me and I go, wow, that's cool. And I just move on with my life. So I'm going to go with... You know what? I have an option. I'm going to exercise my option. And you're going to be like, wait, what?
Who is?
They should give hidden abilities to the original Red Margus and Blue Chester. That's what I think they should do.
DC Margus?
Yes, the Dream Collection ones. And for a player that just outright needs a new version that's good, Hernandez. But he's coming, so I'm not worried about that. So let's see. What other questions do we have right now in our question segment? It doesn't really look like we have a whole lot of question segments, which I think that's pretty much it.
I think so, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all, everyone, for coming out to the first episode of the Dream Show. It was the Super Solidarity Power Hour Mamitas episode. And you got any closing comments, Weiss?
Not at all. Thank you all for coming. It was actually a really good, a very good first episode. We have a lot of questions coming on and a lot of comments. They were very good. So I think this is going to be a good show to discuss a lot of things about Tsubasa. I would say weekly should be fine. 1 hour and a half weekly, same time. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds about right to me. Just obviously, I do work some events, so maybe at some events I won't be able to be present, but we'll figure it out when that time comes. Obviously, Quasar couldn't join us.
Hopefully next time.
Yeah, he was, and then he baited me by typing in the chat. You mother. I turned over.
Said two Fs. You said two Fs in
no,
this.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I said you mother, and then I stopped. So I looked over. I looked over and I saw him chat. I was like, oh, he must be in the group call. Why would he chat in the thing? Damn it. But yeah, we'll try to bring some other guests. Maybe one of these days. I'm gonna try to see if we can convince Bay to stay up a little late and get him on, and then we could talk to him. But we'll try to get some other content creators, maybe some other people. I see Atsushi in the chat. You know, maybe we'll bring him on one day to talk about France. Actually, if he had been on earlier, we would have brought him on to talk about the upcoming French side of the tournament. So maybe we'll have him on.
Actually, you just gave me an idea. Maybe sometime we can have like 4 or 5 regions, like every guy with one region, that we talk about the game. From the region perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to bring on like maybe a Silfarians. He's very he's well spoken. It's really easy to like talk to him about stuff. So he would be like a good person to bring on. You know, we might make some segments that poke a little bit of fun at the fact that he is possibly the game's biggest, or at least the most visible whale, and also have him talk about his region, which I do believe is just Singapore. We can bring some people. We can bring somebody on from Hong Kong. That'd be cool to find someone who is going to the Hong Kong tournament, who knows the Hong Kong scene pretty well. I would say Cispros, but I think Cispros is actually not that big of a PvPer, and he's just mostly focused on his content. Sorry. If we bring some Latin American guys, I know a bunch of Latin American guys I could bring in here, and they could just talk trash for like hours.
Pablito.
We're not bringing on Pablito. I love you, Pablito, but no. Fro, if you could end the podcast with a friendly match between you guys next, maybe. That wouldn't make any sense because podcasts are a audio medium, and this is exactly why the stream is so barren. The reason why the stream is so barren is because I just want people to focus on the audio side. You should be able to have listened to this in your car and not missed anything important. That was the goal.
Pretty much, yes.
All right.
Actually, I'll have you host in my channel one time. I mean, I'm gonna play a match for everyone.
I mean, that'll be something else. Like if we play something else, then that'll be then. But for for podcast purposes, we won't be playing any matches. We'll be just talking. Hopefully, if I can get some like neat little sound effects, I might add some more production. I guess values, like have like a little soundboard or something that we can play stupid sounds. And I need to make more properly looping versions of the music so that it doesn't stop and restart over and over and over again like this. So it is what it is. But you know, we'll talk to some guests. Hopefully you guys are interested in it. I will make a news section in the YouTube channel with just podcast episodes, but also I'm going to see about uploading them somewhere. I don't know where. We could probably figure out a couple places. I don't know if Google Podcasts just lets you upload a podcast with no like with any vetting. Like, can I just upload one? Who knows? We'll figure that out. Hopefully that's not too difficult. Someone said maybe Spotify. Dude, just calm down. We're not. You're way too excited about this. Spotify is at another level. You're not gonna. Google Podcast seems like it's easy enough to get on. Let's worry about that first. Give us some time. You're way too ahead of yourself and us.
It's still the first episode.
Yeah, we're like let us make like 5 or 6 episodes and then we'll talk about it. Anyways, y'all, thank you very much for coming out here. I am one of your hosts, nothingxs.
And I am WeissDT. I'll see you guys later.
We'll see you guys later. Have a good one, everybody.